Welcome to Being Humankind with your hosts Brian, Mike, and Neely. We explore what it means to be human in a time of disconnection.
What do you think is the most beautiful thing about you?
Oh, beautiful, I'm just a very giving person. I just give, um, to the point where I wear myself out at times, but I just like to give. It's not about what I receive. A lot of times I just like to give, and that's probably it. I'll embrace anybody, help anybody. And I like to think my son does the same thing. So that's kind of where we're all at. It's beautiful, but yet it has its ugly sides. It's the flower that wilts occasionally. You have to put some new water in the bowl. Yeah, or the plant that needs to be repotted in a fresh pot of soil. So I'm the same way, and that does happen. And I've wanted to run away one time too many. So and I did it not too long ago. Becky and I just took a drive. Went and I want to say, unfortunately, I can't just run away by myself. It's usually with her in tow, but she's oblivious to it for the most part, and that I'm just escaping. And so her and I drove down to the canal. We stood by sat by the canal and watched cars and people and just, drove around, and she was oblivious to it. You drive through McDonald, but it did gave me my space, some space that I needed. But yeah, you got to be true to yourself when you need that regenerating. But I'm very overly giving. I've been told too giving. So at times, you know, don't know when to stop.
Good. Not a horrible thing at all.
Yeah. Except when you're tired and it's 9:30 and it's 2 hours past your bedtime. My brother was saying to me, "What were you doing up at 5 o'clock today?" I'm like, "It was the first day of school. Teachers don't sleep the night before school starts." And the hard part for me is now I've got to leave before Becky gets on her bus in order to work on time. And that's just a mini nightmare. And with nobody else around, I've had to enlist in Randy, my brother, to be putting her on the bus. And she pulls Randy's tailbone all the time. She pulls all the strings with him. So, because he goes into work later than me. So I'm like, well, you've been elected. You've got to put her on the van every day. So it hasn't happened for 10 months because I've been home teaching virtually, and she went back to her program in August. I think the worst thing for all of this is she has regressed because of the social isolation. So I don't want to attribute that to her disability. I just want to, that's attributed to the circumstances of COVID and the lack of, she's gotten lazier, but we've all gained that COVID weight. So to protect her, she's been more in her shell, and she's having third person conversations now. And so that kind of scared me. I told the psychologist, she's talking with a cat now, arthritis cat. Are you, he's going in the ambulance, he needs an IV. And I'm like, where is she getting this from? This is totally bizarre and new, but I want to attribute it to the fact that she's just not getting the socialization that she used to get at her day program. Yeah, she's going to her day program, but her day program used to be 50 people. Now it's only 12. Her day program used to be outings every day of the week. She would go bowling, she would go swimming, she would go out to Dunkin' Donuts, she would go for rides, she would go for walks. It was community. She helped with Meals on Wheels. So there was more purpose to her every day. And now there's no outings. There's, she's going in, she's got to sit basically at the same space that's safely washed for her. Is it a good choice for her to go? By all means, because she's getting out and getting in a bus and in a car, but it's still isolated. So yeah, there's that regression. But and I lost my train of thought here now on all that. Where were we with this? I lost you on that. I got sidetracked. What was there a question I was on or not?
You were just saying wonderful things.
All right. I just, that just totally, having my brother have to put her on the bus again just yesterday. yesterday was the first day again. The swearing is, and she I don't want to say intimidates him, but he's a more passive person, so he goes with the flow. But she just went back in August, so now she's back, but she also has to go back with a mask on, so she can't get that on herself. So now he's got to put it on, and I know that's probably more, it's just a more intimidating thing for him to have to do, another job for him to have to do every morning. She has to go in with a tracking form, the COVID tracking form. So I need to make sure I have everything out. I have to take her temperature before she goes, and he just told me tonight he struggles with zippering her zipper. She used to be able to do it, but she has broken every zipper in every coat she's ever owned because her hands and her manipulation are tough. And so she breaks that little threading thing apart. So he just told me this morning he struggles with zipping her coat every morning. So it's the little things like that. And she feeds off of that. She feeds off of a frustration of that kind of stuff. And today's only day 2 of him going back to, he was doing it quite successfully. So today's only day 2 of it. So it's just to get back into that routine of doing it. And she needs that consistency too. That's exactly, you have to rebuild it with her. So yeah, life's always a struggle and a curveball.
Absolutely. Well, we've kept you up to 9:30.
I know it. Yeah, I'm telling you. I've been in bed like 8 o'clock every night. So